for the moment that you've all been waiting for. From just north of the border, he's the hombre with no nombre. Mi hermano from another mamo. He's the Leonardo da Vinci of lockups. El numero uno.
That's right. You're listening to one of the three Hogsmen, Devin. I know where he's at. He ain't here, though.
No, he's not here.
And Big Duke said maybe next week. Flight plans got messed up. Couldn't make it.
He's probably at a Phillies game right now.
Probably at a Phillies game. But it is Wednesday. It's June 16th. Big day yesterday, Adam.
Okay.
You know why?
Why is that?
California got to reopen.
Oh, yeah. I walked into a liquor store today, no mask, and I felt like a brand new man.
Isn't it crazy?
It's some people are still wearing them, and like that's fine. You're gonna do what you want to do, but like there's something so freeing about driving, and you're like, oh shit, I forgot my mask, and then going, oh, that's right, I don't need to worry about that anymore.
Yep, it's so freaking weird, man. Just walk into a place and being like, I don't have to wear a mask. I get to see people's faces. It's very interesting. It's very weird.
You get to wonder if people are silently judging you for not wearing one.
Yeah, but. Hey, man, good. I'm happy. I think a lot of people are happy about it. Now we can have full attendance at Padres games, and hopefully that's what the case will be.
Yep, it's the 100% capacity starting tomorrow. It's the first home game since California reopened.
And speaking of the Padres, we are recording the podcast in my living room, and I have the Padres game on. They are losing to the Rockies right now, 3-4, and it is the what inning is it?
The
top of four.
Top of the fourth.
So, yeah, man, it's good though. I'm glad we're heading in the right direction. It seems like with all this COVID stuff and the mandates have all been, hey, we're free. The chains are off.
Yep.
If you want to wear a mask, go ahead. That's your choice. I'm fine with it. I'm not going to give you any grief. But it's nice to not wear one.
And I would hope no one will give me or you grief for not wearing one.
Exactly.
Because we've been following all the rules this whole time. So we're obviously not against them or protesting against them or anything like that. So.
Nope. But anyways, let's see. Had a match this past weekend for Love Thy Neighbor. It is an organization that, is trying to help out neighborhoods. And we had a show down in Chula Vista, and the show was called Love Thy Lucha. And it was awesome. It was so much fun, man.
It looked good. It looked cool.
So it was at a church, but it was held in the courtyard area.
Yeah.
And the courtyard area isn't like gigantic, but it's big enough to fit a ring, and then you can, there's enough room around the ring to have fans. And I mean, there must have been 150 people there, 200 people. But it was such a small area that it just seemed like it was a sellout crowd.
That's the promoter's trick. If you know you're going to get less than 200, you hold it in a smaller venue so it looks packed.
Yeah.
Rather than holding it in like a gym, there's 200 people. Like, oh, no one's here.
Yeah. So the crowd was great, man. It was just a fun crowd. They were there just to have a good time. They were reacting to everything. It wasn't a smart mark crowd. It was just people there to have a good time. Small kids, their parents, all that kind of stuff.
Do you find that you encounter those kind of crowds in San Diego? Like, I don't think those people, like, even when you go to like WWE events in San Diego, it seems very much like what a normal fan base would be. Like, just seems like they're kind of just into the wrestling. They don't care about all the other crap. They're just there to see wrestling be entertained.
Yeah, I guess San Diego's pretty fortunate not to have that heavy, hardcore. I mean, it goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
It goes both ways. It can either be really good to have that heavy, hardcore indie fan pro wrestling crowd, and then, because obviously they're very loyal.
Yeah.
They love the business, and sometimes wrestling in front of that crowd, they've seen everything.
Yeah.
Because that's probably like, a majority of what they watch is wrestling, and they've probably seen everything.
Yeah.
To exhaustion. That's just kind of like my theory. It's not like
No, it's right. It's
not
accurate.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's how I feel as a fan. Sometimes I've seen so much that when I watch something, I sometimes feel myself going, man, I'm not into this, and I can't figure out why.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just go, well, it's probably because I've seen everything. Like, I'm not one to shit on somebody for doing something cool, but it's like I've seen that a million times. So
Yeah.
it's like to me as a fan, it's kind of like, okay, so
Yeah.
maybe that's what it is.
It's we don't have like, we have those people, but we don't have like a very large audience of the, at least I don't think so. At least I'm trying to think of the places in San Diego that hold shows, and like SoCal Pro has a very family friendly show. Ground Zero, I believe, has maybe a little bit more PG-13.
Yeah.
I guess you could say like Ground Zero will be a little bit more adult at sometimes, but not full blown. And I mean, I have to say most of the San Diego crowds are family friendly.
Yeah, it's kind of what I like. Whenever you go to like a WWE show, it's very much like, this is all great, but when does Ray come out? That's kind of how WWE shows in San Diego have always been for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was a great crowd, man. I had so much fun working with this crowd. So I was supposed to be in a triple threat. It was supposed to be Judiz, SoCal Crazy, and myself. We were going to redeem ourselves from the last time that we were in the ring together.
Do you think they found the footage of that match and said, "Oh, we can't"?
I don't think there is any footage of that match. But anyway, so I got there, and Benny B-Boy was like, "Hey, it's just going to be you and Judiz." He had to put Nestor, SoCal Crazy, in another match. Apparently something happened, and they just had to switch around the card a little bit. So SoCal Crazy ended up wrestling Nightmare Azteca, who's a local luchador in the area. So yeah, Julius and I went out there and worked. Had fun, man. I did the favors for Judiz, and the crowd was awesome, man.
Back-to-back weekends of that, or maybe it was every other week.
Every other weekend.
I would say, because you wrestled him 2 weeks ago,
I
right?
think 2 weeks ago. Yeah. No, man. So just getting Julius back into the rhythm of working, of wrestling again. So it was fun, man. Julius is an easy guy to work with.
And you can hear a lot of those thoughts on last week's podcast.
Yes, you can. I hope you guys enjoyed our interview with Judiz. And yeah, man. So that was my weekend. Basically, I did the show on Saturday. Like I said, Love Thy Neighbor. They're awesome, man. They treated us so well. They actually catered for us, which, believe you me, it's very rare for indie wrestling to have catering in the back.
I've never heard of it.
And we're talking like huge trays of chicken, rice, chips and salsa. It was great, man. They had like fruits and vegetables and like snacks in the back for us, waters, Gatorades, and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, this is fantastic, man.
This is after the show, right?
This is like before I got there. They had just like the snacks out there, like the fruits and like the snacks and all that. And I was like, oh, this is great, man. Like, it's really nice that they did this. And then maybe like an hour and a half later, they come walking into we had like a nice little dressing area, like one of the rooms that the church opened up for us. They came and they brought all these chicken and we're like, I was like, holy crap, man, like this is great. So I bagged it up and brought it home with me to eat. But yeah, man, thank you guys very much. The Love Thy Neighbor group, awesome, man. And I think we're gonna be working more with them, which is awesome too. So yeah, it was good stuff, man. And then that was about it, man. Sunday I pretty much just hung out. Went to a bar with my wife. It was a nice day out. Great weekend out in San Diego. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's about it, man. That is about it. Started watching Loki.
I watched the first episode yesterday, finally, after a couple of days.
I'm into it.
No, I liked it a lot.
I'm into it.
My only issue with it was kind of like it's shit all over all the Marvel movies.
You think so?
Like I like how they're just like, oh, you have Infinity Stones here. Oh yeah, they're like, I think Jim is using one as a paperweight.
Oh yeah. Well, because magic and stuff doesn't work in their little. And by the way, spoiler alert, guys.
Oh yeah, sorry. But there was a couple other things too where I was just like, wow, so none of this really mattered.
So I binged watched Falcon and Winter Soldier because I was like, okay, I got to get this out of the way.
Yeah.
So I binged that. It was okay.
Yeah.
Really, they just took the long path to get Falcon to be the next Captain America.
Yeah. For me, that show was more satisfying for me because I liked all the Captain America movies, and I liked Sam and Bucky a lot. And part of that show is it's a lot of like subtle, stupid shit that no one cares about. But like all the movies, like Bucky has just been like this tortured, like been like mind brainwashed and all this shit. But like this show is kind of like by the end of the show, by the beginning of the show, he couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And then by the end, he was comfortable just sleeping in Sam's house. And like by the end, you just kind of was like, oh, Bucky's kind of back to normal from like where he was in like the first Captain America movie.
Yeah, very true.
And then the whole Sam thing was kind of like the whole, I mean, it has a lot to do with kind of what's going on in the world right now, where it's like they wouldn't want a black Captain America. And that they kind of use that as like, Sam was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm like, well, fucking Steve picked you. Like,
Yeah.
Steve obviously saw something in you that no one else saw. So like it was like a really long way to get there. But like there was a lot of like the final like shot of them just kind of looking out into like the sun and stuff. I was like, that's more satisfying to me than a lot of other stuff because those characters have been through so much shit.
Yeah.
Like in the same. I mean, this Loki is like he hasn't experienced any of this shit that real Loki like experienced. But it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. And like I said, spoilers for this Loki show, but they're dealing with time travel.
Yeah.
With this show, which opens up a whole bunch of stuff. I also feel like it muddies the waters when you start dealing with time travel. You know, X-Men, it fucked that franchise all up.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows what's going on with that franchise? But I feel like Marvel always handles things very well and thinks about continuancy. Is that right?
Yeah, continuance. Like
so they always
continuity.
have continuity. That's
Yeah.
it. I think they'll do a pretty good job of keeping that tight and making sure nothing goes astray.
Yeah.
And I hope so, at least. But I love it, man. I really like that the Loki character, the actor that plays him.
Tom Hiddleston's very good.
I've liked him ever since they first introduced him. And you know what I've noticed? He's got a great ability to be. He's a great tweener.
Yes.
And anybody that doesn't know what a tweener is in the pro wrestling business, it's somebody that can go back and forth from being a heel to the face without actually ever having like a huge turn.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, sometimes he's got to go out there and wrestle a face and he's got to be the heel and he can do it. Sometimes the tweener has to go out and face a heel and can be a baby face and doesn't have to do anything remarkable to keep it that way. You know, you just go out there and whatever they ask of you, you do it. And he's basically been that throughout since he's been introduced into the MCU,
Yeah.
right? You know, he started off as a bad guy, switched to a good guy, went back to being a bad guy, switched back to a good guy. You know, like he just kept going back and forth. And when you want to like him, you like him, and when you want to hate him, you do hate him.
Yeah.
He's really he's the quintessential tweener.
Yeah. Now you're getting it from the perspective of the Loki that never experienced all the stuff after the first Avengers.
Yeah.
So he's still very much at that point, like, I want to take over the world and yada, 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 where he has an experience like you see in the show. And this isn't a spoiler because if you watch any of the Thor movies, he gets to watch his mother's death and his own death. And you watch how he reacts to all that. And you're just like, okay, well, maybe this guy has just always been kind of misunderstood. And like, he's just, I don't know. But yeah, I liked it a lot. I thought Owen Wilson was really good too.
Owen Wilson I'm a big Owen Wilson guy. I was a big fan of like Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn and
Wedding Crashers was great.
Wedding Crashers is great. Old School's great. Like that crew of guys. I wonder whatever happened to like those guys is like Vince Vaughn at one point was like the most awesome actor, like comedic actor there was.
I think at just some point these guys make a ton of money and they just kind of start doing less stuff. Like Vince Vaughn he's done some stuff like. He was in the second season of that True Detective, and that was okay. He was in the Page movie. He played the WWE tryout guy in the Page movie, and that was kind of weird.
That's what's so funny about that movie is it's nothing like the real thing.
No, as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay. First of all, when Page tried out, there was no NXT. Second of all, like I mean, they could have at least used some real names since WWE backed the movie. Like,
Yeah.
instead they were like, let's make up this guy
Yeah.
who is in NXT, and like NXT didn't exist. I'm like, okay,
It's like you couldn't have called Vince Vaughn's character Robbie Brookside.
yeah, just something like that, and he could have done a British accent, which
Yeah.
would have been interesting.
I was a big Vince Vaughn. I'll tell you this: if there's one movie you need to watch that Vince Vaughn is in, where he is just the funniest fucking guy in the world, is Made. You ever see Made?
No.
It's him and John Favreau.
Okay.
Favreau.
Is that their follow up to Swingers? Just
No,
another movie together?
it's just them two, and they're kind of like trying to be like mob guys, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it's funny as shit, man. Vince Vaughn is so funny in it, and I'm a big Vince Vaughn fan.
It's funny to see what happened to Favreau too. Like Favreau was like a pretty popular actor, and then he just decided one day he's like, I'll just direct.
Yeah,
And now he's like, oh, he's just directing a Star Wars show. No big deal.
yeah.
Like-
He huge talent, that man.
Yeah.
Huge talent. But yeah, man. So started watching Loki. I am enjoying it. I'm looking at this. I'm really looking forward to this show.
Do you think there's a reason that they didn't just show him again, his face at the end when they said, we're chasing you? And the guy was in a hood. Like, do you think that like,
I don't think they're 100% sure it's him. I think they.
Okay.
I think they think it's him.
Yeah.
But it's not for sure him.
yeah. The only unfortunate thing about this show is I know that like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange are going to delve into like the multiverse. So I'm like, okay, well, I know how this show's going to end then.
Huh.
It's going to end with the multiverse opening up again, because that's kind of how they've set all this stuff up. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the show is really good. It took me a couple days to watch it. I don't know why, but when I watched it, I was like, oh, maybe because Loki as a character, like wasn't like I never really liked most of the Thor movies up until Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So maybe like
The second one was shit.
the second one was terrible. The first one was okay, but it was, again, if you took the Loki character in the first Thor and the Avengers, it's basically the same guy, the one note villain. Whereas then other like in Ragnarok, you see like a different version of Loki. And
Yeah. Well, they gave a lot more character to Thor in the third one.
yeah.
You know, it's funnier. It's got cooler music.
Yeah. Someone found out that Chris Hemsworth was funny, and they're like, let's just run with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good looking dude too, man. Fucking Hulkster. He's Chris Hemsworth.
Have you seen some of the pictures from the Thor set?
Fucking Jack City.
I'm like, he's probably gonna get bigger to play Hogan.
He's Jack City, dude.
Yeah.
He's Jack City. He's on all the good stuff. All the good
What
stuff.
are you implying, Mike?
Like, he's on the gas.
Okay.
Guarantee it. Guarantee it. You know what other show? My wife has been watching it for like a few seasons now, and I just kind of started watching it just because I was in the room and you
Yeah.
know, whatever. But it kind of like it hooked me. Was Handmaid's Tale?
I've heard so much about it. I've just never started it.
Yeah. So I started watching. I kind of just jumped in,
Yeah.
and then I of course you can go on YouTube and just watch recaps of like every
Yeah.
season leading, you know. I was like, dude, I'm not going to watch this whole thing. I'll just watch these recaps. Pretty good recaps. But you know what the crazy thing about this show is? It's scary because you never know if this shit could happen. Like, that's the thing. It's all about like it's like a group of religious fanatics take over. Like, they basically start a coup, and these religious fanatics kind of have like their members are like silently in like the military and like politicians
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So when they took over this, when they did this coup, they had the people in place to do it. So then like the U.S. gets like broken up, and this area with all these religious fanatics it's called like Gilliam or something like that. And women can't read or write, and everybody's a lot of women are sterile, and so are men, but they blame it more on the women. And you know, natural men shit, right?
Yeah.
And so any woman who is fertile is like a hot commodity. So they round up these fertile women, and they send them out to like these kind of like prestigious like houses, like they're called commanders,
Like rich people.
like rich
basically.
people, yeah. And they go upon like this thing in the Bible where like I can't remember who had sex with like their like nanny or some shit like that, and they have a kid, and like the Bible says like, hey, this is cool, so they think that, okay, if they can do it in the Bible, they can do it in real life.
Is this based on Arnold Schwarzenegger's life?
Yeah. But these handmaids, they're called handmaids, all they're doing is having sex with they're getting raped, basically. They're getting raped by the commanders, but everybody's like, oh, it's okay because this is for us to reproduce.
Yeah.
And it's just real creepy, man. Like,
very dark.
It's very dark, and it's something where you look at it and you go, man, this might happen one day. Like, it's scary that you could actually see this maybe happening one day. And I'm not saying that I want to see, like, it's, I don't know, it's just
no,
creepy.
It makes sense. A lot of
creepy.
people think Scientology is like everywhere.
Yeah,
a lot of people think that they've integrated themselves into a lot of situations. So
yeah,
it could be very similar.
It's a good show though, man. The chick, her name
Elizabeth Moss.
Yes,
she was on Mad Men. I always liked her on Mad Men.
Man, she is so good in the
very
show, dude. She kills it.
Yeah, apparently she did a movie not too long ago called The Invisible Man or something like that.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Oh yeah, and apparently she's great in it, and it's like
I didn't even know it was her.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, that's a pretty weird movie. It's a pretty weird.
Yeah,
movie.
I've never seen it, but I saw a lot of people liked it, and it seems like one of those movies where, like, you have to cast a good actor because they're basically acting with nothing, so they have to be good at expressing emotions and whatnot, and kind of going insane.
Anyways, how was your weekend? What'd you do?
It's good. Had dinner with my parents and my girlfriend on Saturday, so that was interesting. And then I saw Devin on Sunday. He was at my parents' house.
You saw the kaiju.
I saw the kaiju, and he's doing well. They're getting ready for a move. I don't know if
Texas.
that's they're going to be here all week. I'm going to a Padre game tomorrow, so if you want to get some 8x10 signed by Devin, he'll be at the Padre game at about 5:40. I'll tweet out the section.
You guys should go there early.
Oh, we're going to be there early.
And instead of trying to get players' autographs, Devin should just have autographed 8x10s that he hands out to the players. That'd be funny. I could totally see Devin doing that too.
I don't know if you ever told your story, but we went, when he was the West Coast heavyweight champion, we went to a minor league baseball game. And he went and he tried to talk to the players about getting him on the field. And at one point he got on the field and they took the belt and took pictures with it. It was so stupid, but it was so funny, and just something I imagine Devin would do at a major league ballpark too. Like, hey, Tatis, want this signed picture of me?
Devin probably looked like a small child on the field holding a championship belt with these professional athletes.
He probably did. I don't remember. It was so long ago, but yeah.
How's the West Coast Wrestling Company? How's that going?
That show is this Saturday.
Oh, it is.
Yep, in Hemet, California, at the Wheelhouse. I know Mike has a show this weekend too, so I won't say which show to go to because Mike's the wrestler. I'm not a wrestler. So.
Well, I would also suggest this: if you're in San Diego, maybe come to my show.
Yeah, you definitely should do that.
And if you're up in the Hemet or is that Inland Empire area?
Yeah, kind of. It's like an hour, 40 minutes from here. So
I would suggest you go to Adam's show.
Yes, it'll be Rick Ellis versus Brandon Gatson for the West Coast heavyweight title in the main event.
That'd be good. That'll be a good match.
Yeah, I will be involved in that and another match, and I'm hoping it goes well.
Excellent, man. Where's it at? Do you know?
It's called the Wheelhouse.
The Wheelhouse.
It's in Hemet. It's kind of like this skating rink type thing where it was outside last time, but this time it's gonna be inside. It actually has perfect lighting for a wrestling show.
Oh, really?
It has a lighting rig above it that's when you're at a skating rink.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one of those in forever, but they have the lights above them, so the ring's going to be set underneath that, and it'll look pretty cool. So
Excellent, man. Sounds good. And this weekend, I will be at the Canna Pro Show. It's the 619. It's the 619 show. Do you know why it's called 619, Adam?
Because we live in San Diego, and it is going to be June 19th this Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, you're basically right. But this is going to be at the it's at a dispensary. It is called I guess Ember, EMBR, Ember Dispensary.
Mm-hmm.
And that is located at 8300 Center Drive, La Mesa, California, 91942. Tickets are about $10. And you want to go over the card?
Absolutely. Let's
go over
do
the
it.
card. Let's see what's happening real fast.
I did see The Godfather gave you guys a shout out on. I guess he has a podcast or something.
Oh yeah, well he will be there.
I know he's Canna Pro tweeted about it. I don't know if it's some podcast he's doing, but yeah, he'll be there. I don't know what gimmick he's going to be doing while he's there. I assume it's The Godfather.
Pretty sure he's gonna be the Godfather,
but who knows?
I don't think he'll ever stop being the Godfather now. I think that's basically the character he's chosen.
I'm not even sure if he's allowed to do the other characters outside of WWE.
Because they might own it.
They might own the Papa Shango name.
Maybe. All right, here we go. This is in no particular order, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. One of the matches is going to be a table match. It's going to be Damien 666 versus Juan Matatoli, a.k.a. J2. And then you're going to see El Numero Uno. That's me, if anybody's wondering. I'll be in a triple threat against Cam Gates and Charming Biagio Crescenzo. So that'll be fun. We also got Jordan Cruz versus Remy Marcel, all the way from Vegas. Remy's coming out. Next match is a women's match. You're going to have Ruby Reyes versus Kimber Lee. Okay, Kimber Lee.
Impact Wrestling star.
All right, Impact Wrestling star.
I get it, Kimberly.
Get it.
I got it.
And then you're going to have Michael Hops versus Kita Murray. I think it's Kita. That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah.
And then you got Bestia 666 versus Hunter Freeman. And I think that's all the matches.
There's no stipulation in the Hunter match?
No, there's no it's not a hardcore street fight. No, nothing. I don't think so. Wow. Oh, wait, no. Let me see. The Canna Pro Wrestling Show will be seeing it's a street fight.
Oh, okay. I was worried for a second.
Why is that? Because Hunter's a hardcore guy.
I was like, is Hunter backing off? He is the next Mick Foley, after all. You got to get him going.
Hunter's a hardcore guy now. And I think that's all the matches. There could be some more, but I'm not sure, and I can't find the lineup on the Facebook page. Whatever.
You'll retweet it at some point, and everyone will see the full card.
Maybe. Maybe. But anyways, what else is going on in this wrestling world? You hear anything, Adam? What's going on with that? Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe is back in WWE.
So I didn't watch the show, but obviously the interweb and on the line, it shows everything. That's kind of interesting, right? Because they obviously pull on the angle that he got released,
mm-hmm.
and then he shows up surprisingly, and I think he tacked Kevin Cross.
No, they brought him in as just Regal's new enforcer.
Okay.
Like he's not wrestling. I don't know his health status. Maybe that has a lot to do with why he went back. He got a lot of concussions. Like he got one weird one where he's filming a commercial and he got a concussion.
Interesting.
So like, I think to me, it just seems like he wants more of the security and the money than anything at this point. I think he lives in Florida, so it's probably not a drive for him.
I'm guessing he's also early 40s.
Yeah. I would guess if not 40s, he's like 38, 39.
He's probably looking to go long term with WWE, even probably out of not even in ring action. He's probably trying to get a job backstage.
Yeah, that's what they were doing. They were putting him on commentary, and he was really good at it.
I thought he was awesome at it.
So it's one of those things. I'm like, well, I think you go back for whatever you're doing now. Maybe you get a couple more matches in, and then you're like, all right, now I can move on to that, the second phase of your life that he probably wants, where, he's a backstage guy, maybe he's a commentator, something. Like, I don't think at his age he really wanted to go try to work the AEW style, which is a lot of like...
Or pound the pavement, work in the indies and all that kind of stuff. He probably wants that security.
Yeah.
I understand.
Because for those guys, it's like they're getting a million emails from people they don't know, and they're like, all right, I guess I'll work this show, and then you find out it's a trash show and you're like, oh god.
Yeah,
that's working the indies is that kind of guy. I'm sure is really annoying and bothersome, so that probably has a lot to do with why he went back too.
Yeah, but that's good. I mean, it's weird that they pulled that, like, he got released stuff.
Well, apparently Triple H really fought for him to come back.
Oh, so he actually did get released.
All these guys actually got released.
Okay, so it's not just an angle.
No, it wasn't just an angle. Like, he was legit released and his non-compete had ended, and I think Triple H really, because Triple H is the one who really fought for him, I guess, to get the job there in the first place. So yeah, I guess Triple H kind of like talked him into coming back, and he's like, "You just work in NXT, like you work for me, like that's it."
Dude, he's so good
Yeah.
at commentary and in ring and basically everything he does.
Even the thing he did last night, like there was a little angle at the end where he choked out Adam Cole, and it was very much like Cole pushed him. He had this little subtle, like, you see him get annoyed, he choked him out, and he just walked away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he doesn't overdo anything. He's really talented.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you. Big news in the indie wrestling world is in Southern California and the Southwest, basically, is SummerSlam weekend. WWE is having a multi-day tryout in Vegas, where SummerSlam is gonna be held.
It was kind of open to anyone, right? Anyone could apply for it. It looked like.
I'm not sure.
This is the first time I've really seen them do that, where they post a thing out on like Twitter for everyone to see. Like I know of the website that you like, the recruit website that you guys send stuff in. I know about all that, but I don't think I've ever seen them go, we're doing a tryout this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. You're correct on that. I don't believe I've seen that either.
And it's weird that they would do that after they just fired a bunch of people. They're like, we're looking for talent. Like, wait, but you had a bunch that you just got rid of.
Yeah.
I guess it's more low income, more low cost talent though. If they get some guys off the tryouts,
possibly. Also, you know, no, even when you do release people, you do got to keep feeding that roster because you know you never know who's gonna be the next person to break out, and not that a lot of those people that got released got a fair shake as far as like, you know, being used.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you got to show whoever you need to show there, I'm the guy to get behind.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the guy to get behind. And yeah, man, so that's pretty interesting that they're having a tryout in Vegas. I do encourage wrestlers to go experience it. You know what, you can go online and sign up and register, and I think maybe they're probably going through a lot of those like I guess it's kind of like an application that you fill out. I guess they're looking for, you know, Southwest wrestlers. What I'm guessing is because it costs money to fly everybody to Orlando, right? From all across the country, the world even. So I'm wondering what. I doubt they're doing it. I'm pretty sure this is not one of those tryouts where you go and pay to try out, which some companies do.
Yeah.
You know, you pay $150, $200, you go try out for them, whatever. A lot of people call it just a cash grab. But I don't think WWE, obviously, if it got out that WWE was doing that, I think they would get shitty publicity out of it. So what I'm thinking is it's an invitation. You know, they're not going to make you pay, but you probably got to get yourself there. I'm guessing that.
Yeah, and if you're going to try to get yourself to Vegas that weekend, I would book everything now, even if you don't know for sure you're going to get the call.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's the same weekend as a Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
So it's going to be...
That's going to be a busy weekend
Vegas,
out there.
the hotels are going to be more expensive than normal. The flights are probably going to be more expensive than normal. Like... So like, but I mean, if you live in San Diego, like the tryout goes well, maybe you're an extra on that Raw, which is like 2 days later.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a SmackDown in Phoenix that weekend too. So like, I don't know how that works if they're doing a tryout, but.
Well, here's the thing. So SummerSlam is on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a multi-day tryout. So I'm guessing they're probably going to do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I don't know if like they're holding it at say like FSW out there, or if they're just gonna rent a warehouse or like a banquet hall somewhere in one of the casinos or the hotels, and put up a couple of rings. So I don't know like how that's working out. It's gonna be interesting.
It's probably more likely they're gonna hold it in a big venue, like some kind of like you said, like a convention center or something like that.
Yeah.
So they can kind of have as many people as they're gonna probably have. They're going to probably have multiple rings and all this other shit.
Yeah.
So,
but I encourage people to go try out. Even I guarantee you, this is a lot of people's thinking. I'm not ready yet. The fuck? Who gives a fuck? You're ready. Yeah. Can you bump? Can you do rolls? Do you have cardio? Do you have in-ring cardio?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're ready. Go. Because that's what a lot of people. Whenever I encourage people, hey, go do a tryout. And not just WWE, but like when New Japan held a tryout, when Evolve used to hold tryouts, any place that's got a big name like that and they're holding tryouts, go check it out. If it's like a local indie promotion that's like, hey, $100, come try out. Fuck you. That no bullshit. Some little local like, promotion that's trying to pull that shit. Like,
Yeah.
No, that's not cool. But a lot of people think like, I'm not ready, man. They think the only people that go to these tryouts or get invited to these tryouts are the best of the best. Shout out to Eric Roberts. It's not true. And that, my first realization is when I went to my first WWE tryout. I was like, man, I'm going to a WWE tryout. Like Duke, I hit him up a lot about it, and Duke was at a tryout where like Adam Cole was there, Roderick Strong, like basically like all the old PWG roster was there. So I'm thinking like, holy fuck, I'm going out there with them. Like that's what my tryout experience is going to be. I'm going to be like trying to compete with like these the top of the top indie guys. It's not true, man. It's not true. There's a lot of guys that are there, and once they get in the ring, you're like, holy crap, man! Like this guy, he's no better than me. He's no better than me. And actually, I think I'm better than this person.
Yeah.
So anybody out there, go, fill out the application, email whoever you need to email. Try and do this. Try and jump on this tryout, because if anything, it's just a good experience to go and see what tryouts are all about, what the atmosphere is like, who are the other wrestlers there, how do they work, what's the whole structure, what are they looking for, maybe you might get some good feedback on what you need to work on, and then you go work on it, and then you try and get on another tryout, and you show them that you've worked on it, and they go, oh, this person's coachable.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
And you get on their radar.
And then you get on the radar.
By the way, right now, as much as people are probably like, oh, I'm probably not on their radar, nobody outside of guys that have been working TV for the last year are on their radar at all. So you going there and getting on their radar, you're going to be higher up than normal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, because the only guys they've signed really recently have been guys that wrestled in Impact, guys that wrestled in Ring of Honor, like that, because they don't know like who's out here, who's working shows out here. They don't, stuff like that. And now you can go out and show them like, hey, look, this is what I can do.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, I encourage people to go do that. That's like one of the most frustrating things when I'm like, hey, go fill out, try and get on this. When I talk to like other wrestlers in San Diego, I always tell them like, hey, try and get on this. Try and get on this, this tryout or whatever the opportunity may be. And they're like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't think I'm ready yet. And it's like, fuck off. I'm telling you, which means I think you're ready. Like, go do it.
I mean, I literally just said this is the first time I've seen something like this, like them tweeting this out ever. So that means that these opportunities don't come often.
Yeah.
So even if this is for like referees, I don't know if it's just for wrestlers.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's like even if you're just like a local ref, just apply for it. Maybe you'll get there, and there's a ref too. There have been wrestlers who did tryouts who got turned into refs. They also lost their minds, but they got a job.
Real talk. I'm a wrestler, right? But if WWE came at me and said, "Hey, you interested in being a referee?" I'd be like, "Hell yes, I am."
Absolutely. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Because the referee career will be a lot longer than the in-ring professional wrestling career, just on your body.
Yeah, even if your job just turns into like you're the helping with ring crew. I'm like, you're a ring crew and you're ref, and you're probably getting paid over $100,000 a year if you're there long enough.
Sounds good to me.
It's more than I've ever made at any job I've ever worked at. I'll never get offered that job because I think I'm too tall.
Yep, you are.
So they absolutely would never offer me like a ref position, even if I was a wrestler. So that sucks. But I would absolutely, if they were like, you want to be a ref? Like, yes, I'll do whatever the fuck you want me to do. Like,
it makes sense though, because I've been to some promotions where like the referee comes walking up and the referee is like gigantic, and I'm like, you're the referee. You're bigger than both of us combined.
That's why I feel so uncomfortable. Like when I'm managing Rick Ellis now, Danny, I'm like a foot taller than him. So like in every video we've done so far, we're always sitting. So I'm not completely towering over him. And like if like when we go to the ring, I'm gonna stand as far back away from him as I can, because it's like a aesthetic thing. If you see me and I'm supposed to be the chicken shit like agent, and he's the wrestler, like
Yep.
why would you ever take him seriously if I'm standing there and I can't do shit?
Yep. I agree with you on that. Very good.
So, yeah.
Look at you. Yeah. Psychology 101.
Yeah.
Psychology 101. But anyway, so yeah, any of you young wrestlers or even seasoned vets that are still nervous about doing tryouts, go try it out, man. Go try it out. It's practice, man. If anything,
Yeah.
it's practice.
And everyone's good getting signed, so why not you too?
Yeah, why not? You know what? Also, with all these shows, you know, obviously, more shows have been happening with the restrictions lightening up, and now we're good to go. Shows are more frequent. Obviously, I've worked more this past few weekends than the past year.
We've had
you know?
wrestling to talk about on this podcast
Yeah,
every week
exactly.
now for the first time in forever.
And I saw a discussion come up again. This comes up every once in a while about getting paid,
I knew this was coming.
As a wrestler.
I knew this was coming.
right? So a lot of these shows that have been happening have been more student shows.
Yeah.
You know, if a promote a wrestling school, they hold student shows so that their students can get reps,
Yes.
right?
Which is important.
Which is very important. And obviously, this discussion happens on, like I said, on social media. It pops up at least once a year, right? And people there was I don't know if it was a discussion, but people were talking about, hey, like student shows, these students should be getting paid. Like they should be getting paid as wrestlers, which I understand where you're coming from. I understand that. Here's the one like argument I have on the wrestling school or promoters part, I guess you could say, is there's not a lot of money in these shows, right?
No.
These are more like shows where like maybe like family and friends will show up, something like that, or maybe it's just something real small scale. So the money isn't really coming in through the door, and usually these shows, any money made goes to the wrestling school,
Yes.
right? To the rent, the electricity bill, water bill, who knows, right? Insurance. So it all the money that is gathered, it goes towards, trying to goes back into the school. So when you talk about like, student shows, these student shows are set up for these kids that have been learning how to be professional wrestlers can actually get out there in front of a crowd, even if it's not that big of a crowd. It's a scrimmage, right? It's a scrimmage. Like, hey, let's go see what you can do. And that's the benefit of doing these shows, is saying, hey man, you can do all the drills, you can do all the practice matches in front of nobody, but now it's go time.
Yep. Now
you don't have, all that time to talk about it in the back and to, get out there and, hey, let's say you mess up during the match. Well, if it was just a training match, hey, fuck, that sucks. All like that little shit happens. They stop sometimes in the middle of a match during a training match. If they botch, they'll just stop. It's like, no, this is one and done now. You have one shot to get through this whole match, 6 minutes.
One opportunity.
That's it. So, and that's good. It's the experience that you gain from this. When I first got into pro wrestling and I started doing shows, I think maybe like pretty early, I had a match against Famous B. And Famous B is a wrestler who was like out of like the LA area, I believe.
Yeah.
And he was on Lucha Underground for a while. He's a really talented wrestler. And I remember he told me, he goes, listen, there's 3 things that you want to get out of a match, or not out of bookings. And you're not going to get all 3, but you figure it out. Okay. So the 3 things you're looking for is experience, exposure, or money.
Yep.
Right? Or money. These are the 3 things. Now, are you going to get, if you find all 3, you found the fucking jackpot, but you're rarely going to find all 3. You might just get one out of it. Right.
Yeah.
So let's say some really small, crappy promotion hits me up and says, "Hey, Mike, we'd like you to come wrestle for us. We just want you to wrestle one of our students, and basically we're in Nowheresville, USA, right?" And they go, "Hey, by the way, we'll give you $30." And I go, that is not really worth it to me. That's not really worth it to me.
Yeah.
You're telling me that I'm going to wrestle one of your students, so I'm not going to get any experience out of this, really. I'm not going to, I might not learn anything. Like this person that I'm wrestling isn't going to really teach me anything.
No.
And I don't want to sound like an asshole saying that, but I'm just saying, like, you might learn something,
I
but
don't think you're an asshole I think that's pretty much like someone who's been wrestling for 7 years is not going to probably learn anything from someone who's been wrestling for
you never know.
7 months.
You never know. You never know. You're telling me, I'm wrestling in Nowheresville, USA, so the exposure is not going to be there, right? So what do I need out of this? I need to get paid, right? So in that particular instance, money, that's what you should be focusing on. Like, hey, I need money. Okay, now let's say this. Some small promotion in Nowheresville, USA says, hey, Mike, we'd like you to come wrestle for us. And I go, okay, well, let's talk about this. Who would you have me wrestling? And they go, let's see, you'll wrestle against Bob Holly. I don't know. I'm just saying Bob
Give me
Holly.
$10, I'm in.
Or Al Snow. Let's say Al Snow. Hey, you know what? We're gonna put you up against Al Snow. But the thing is, we can only give you $30, and that's about it. Well, I go, excuse me, you want me to wrestle Al Snow, one of the greatest trainers in pro wrestling, a guy with, I'm guessing, like 30 to 40 years of experience, a lot of knowledge. He's probably forgot more than I've learned. He could probably teach me something. Yes, I will take that match. Okay, the money isn't good.
Yeah.
The exposure is nothing because, like I said, it's Nowheresville, USA. But you had me wrestling a guy like Al Snow, who has got incredible amount of knowledge and experience in the ring, and I guarantee I'm going to learn something out of this. Yes, I will take the lesser pay. I will not worry about the exposure because all I want to do is wrestle Al Snow and get that knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully get a little bit of rub off of
Yeah.
him. All right, excellent. Now let's say Super Dragon calls me and says, "Hey, Mike, this is Super Dragon, real name, and I want you to come wrestle for PWG.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to come wrestle for PWG." Now, everybody, we know PWG, when you get booked on the PWG, your name automatically is up there.
Yeah.
It goes from middle of the pack to like top of the pack.
Yep.
Okay, and let's say Dragon goes, "Hey, Mike, I can only pay you $20. And I go, "I don't give a shit. I'll fucking do it for free. I'll pay you $50.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not going to rat anyone out how I know this, but I've been told by multiple people that guys that are legitimate stars got paid nothing.
Yeah.
They got the flight.
Yep.
Guys would work for free to work for PWG, and obviously there's no issue with that.
Nope.
Because of who you're going to end up wrestling. You're going to end up wrestling somebody good.
And the exposure is insane.
Yes.
That right there, the exposure is probably the biggest thing that PWG can provide.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to get some experience out of it depending on who you wrestle. I don't know what the kind of payout it is, but like I said, the biggest thing there is exposure.
Yep.
You're going to get big exposure because PWG, man, that's like probably the number one indie. Am I guessing? Like,
Yeah. They announced they're coming back, and I bet when the tickets go on sale, I bet they're going to be sold out in like 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Like it's legitimately where like anyone on the West Coast should strive to be, because that's where you'll get noticed the quickest.
Oh, 100%.
And that's you could show up to a show and fucking William Regal's there. Oh, Seth Rollins is here.
Yeah.
Like you never fucking know.
The cast of Modern Family's there.
I've shown up to shows and I've just like turned and I'm like, oh, there's a fucking celebrity.
Yeah.
And nobody hounds these people at these shows. Like these people are walking down the street, they've got like 800 people coming up. They'll get an autograph, but like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio showed up to a PWG show, sat front row. No one would talk to him.
Yep.
Because they're just like, we get why you're here. We're gonna leave you alone.
Yeah. But anyway, so And then, like I said, if you find a place that offers 2 of those 3, that's really good. If you get all 3, stay with that promotion as long as you can, because that's that those 3 things are what you're looking for. But rarely are you going to get all 3.
Yeah.
Rarely you might even get 2. So when you are getting hit up by promotions, find out, okay, this booker is offering me this. What do I get? What is the best asset that this promotion can give me? Is it money? Is it exposure or experience? And then, so going back to these student shows, obviously the money's not there.
No.
The money's not there. Is there exposure? Maybe, a little bit of that. But the experience of getting in the ring and actually just working a match is the biggest thing that these student shows offer.
Yeah.
Because, man, before I debuted, I would go to training. We'd do our whole thing, the training, and then we would have like practice matches at the end of the day, or the end of the training session. But it was, in all, it was like 3 hours of in-ring work, right? So then when I debuted in the Rumble, I went out there and I think Jeff Dino actually gave me some time, and I appreciate that he did that. I think I was out there for like 18 minutes, which is pretty good for a fucking brand new debut.
I don't think many people go 18 minutes in their debut.
Not many.
Anything.
Not many. So hold on one second. And Cronin just hit a home run. Sweet. But it was very different because you go out there for 18 minutes and then you're done. That's it. And then my following show, I had a tag match, and I think we maybe went like 10 minutes. But it's 10 minutes and you're done. And you go, afterwards you go, that's it, huh? That's it? Like, I don't have to go do another match. I don't have to do any more drills. I don't have to do anything. 10 minutes and you're done. That's it. So, with the argument when you have student shows, yeah, if you're a student wrestler, chances are you're not going to get paid. If you do, that's great, man. And shout out to if the promotion gives you money. But the thing is, those student shows, you're not really going there to get paid. You're going there to get experience.
Yeah.
And, I see people complaining about, not getting paid or not getting booked on student shows. And then they complain that, oh yeah, you students that are on these shows are getting paid, right? And it's like, hey man, they're just trying to get experience, bro. Yeah. They're just trying to get experience, I would never hit up a school and say, hey, I see you're doing these student shows. You want me to come work for you, but I'm going to charge you $100, $200 or whatever. And come on, that school, they're not even getting that much money into the door.
Yeah.
For those student shows. So you got to understand certain things.
Yeah.
You got to understand certain things. It's just kind of, I don't know. I guess you could maybe, put it underneath paying your dues.
I think part of the argument has always been that, like, while there are good situations like with the student shows at Level Up, because obviously it's run by somebody who knows what he's doing and whatnot, there's a lot of schools, quote unquote, that are run by people who don't know what they're doing, and they're not paying people. And then even when they start wrestling, they're not paying people, and they've been wrestling for a while and they're not paying people. And I again, for me, it's like when I kind of started training and stuff, like getting paid $20 was like laughable. Mm-hmm. Like nobody was getting paid $20. Like if you got paid $10, you were like, sweet. So I'm like, I guess that obviously needs to change that mentality. But like, yeah, if you're just starting out, like you can't expect to make like whatever the going rate is these days right off the bat. Like, yeah, because it like you said, it's all about the business aspect of it. Like, are you bringing some of this money back? No, like as a student, you're not. Like, yeah, maybe you'll bring your family to the show, but I don't know. I see what you're saying, but I also see the counter if like the promoter is kind of like just abusing the students. But in the situation like with Level Up, the experience is also the fact that a vouch by Benny to any promotion out there is probably worth way more than a million other people who run schools out here.
Yeah.
Like if him telling, no, Mike Camden's good, you want him on your show, it's gonna get Mike Camden booked.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want Jordan Cruz? Jordan Cruz is great. Put him on your show. Hunter, put him on your show. And I think that helps more than like a guy that kind of has a name, but not really.
Yeah.
I think that's a little different.
Well, also here's the thing with these student shows. Okay, they can't offer you money, right? Because they don't have the money to offer you. Well, what can we do out of this? Okay, well, how about this? We're gonna film the show.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get you match footage. Now, tell me, what's more important in early career? $20-$30 for working a show, or match footage?
I would want match footage because then you know what you need to work on
And also,
mechanically.
now you have something to send out.
Exactly.
You have something to send out to people. Like, hey, this is how I work.
Yeah.
And that's also another thing. Like, let's say the monetary, like, and this is just in general, right? Let's say a promoter hits you up and they say, hey, we don't have a lot of money. We don't have a lot of money. We really want you to work for us, you know, but what can we do? We can't offer you too much money. What can we do?
Yeah.
Okay, well, can you offer me a solid opponent? I mean, we have one of our guys. He's worked for a while. He's not a well-known name, but he's also not like a student. He's been working for a few years. Okay, all right, excellent. All right, well, let's see. Can you get me match footage? Yes, we can. We film it and we can get it to you. Excellent. That right there is worth. That there's what can I say? Value in that footage, because now I can send it out, or I can put it out there online for people to watch, and maybe somebody's scrolling on a social media one day, and they just happen to watch a short clip of what I posted, and next thing you know, they notice you and go, hey, this person's pretty good, and they start following you.
Yep.
And maybe they buy a shirt, maybe they become a bigger fan, maybe they start buying your merchandise, all that kind of stuff, right? So don't just look at it as like dollars and cents. Look at it as, where can I get value from? It might not just be straight up cash. It might be experience, exposure. It might be match footage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
you might get to a certain point where like match footage doesn't matter to you anymore.
Yeah.
And all that matters is money. And then I understand that too. Because once you get to a certain level in wrestling, it's like, all right, well, I don't need to work those certain shows anymore.
Yeah.
And I get that mindset too. But then there are guys that don't care and will do it because they know that them being on a show and them giving them information will help.
Yeah.
Like the Gangrels of the world. Like just being on a show is going to help you learn something.
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain guys that do that and there's certain guys that don't. And I don't think either one of them are wrong.
Yeah. I mean, try and find value somewhere.
Yeah.
It might not just be money. Try and go, okay, well, can I get this? Can I get this? You know, in the long run, this might help me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what I have to say about that kind of stuff. But, or what about this? Okay, let's say this. Student show, right? And there you go, the promoter or the owner of the school goes, hey guys, I'm going to do something for you. We can't offer you payment, right? We can't offer you payment because we don't have it. And we don't know how many people are going to show up to this student show. So I can't guarantee you money, right? What about this, guys? For everybody that comes in here, let's say let's say you have a pretty good showing. You get 150 people in there, and however much tickets are.
Yeah.
$10, $5, whatever. Whatever we make, we'll knock off the monthly payment.
Yeah.
Right?
That works too.
So let's say you normally pay $100, right? $100 a month to train at a place. What if they said, hey, whoever comes in through the door, however much money we make, we'll disperse that amongst the wrestlers, the people that are on the card, or the students, whatever. And next thing you know, your next month's payment is $75, right? Okay, we didn't pay you cash in hand, But the thing is, we knocked off a few bucks on your monthly dues. There you go. That could work.
Yeah.
But you never. That's just a suggestion.
Yeah.
I don't know if it.
But like again, like I said, like if you are going to, I don't know where this says specifically, but like Dr. Tom and Kane have a school out there. If I'm on one of their student shows, am I going to be upset I didn't get paid? I'm like, no. Dr. Tom and Kane are watching my match and they're going to give me feedback.
Yep.
Like those are two guys that obviously know what the fuck they're doing. Like it's the same way at the Level Up School. You guys know what the fuck you're doing, so you're going to get good information, and then the shows are going to be good, and then you're going to have someone who can vouch for you, who's respected in the business. Like to me, that's more important than $20.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now I get to fill gas in my car. Not even half a tank at this point.
Yeah.
You're like, here's some gas.
Yeah.
money.
Sometimes even when you get, a booker or promoter will like ask you, hey, what's your
rate?
What's your rate? And let's say you give it to them and they go, hey man, we can only, let's say they can only offer something that's maybe $20 less than what you asked for. You look at it and you go, and this kind of goes both ways, but is $20 that much to maybe burn a bridge?
Probably not.
Yeah. Right. So also, what you're talking about with that PWG thing where like there's some cats that don't get paid a lot of money to go work PWG. You know where they make the money at, right?
The indies.
Merch.
Yeah. I've had a couple of conversations with guys in the past, like for bookings and stuff, and like they would just go, okay, well, how about I do a seminar and we split that?
Yep.
And that's another way to make up for the difference in what they're asking and what you can offer them.
Yep.
Because obviously it's different. You ask a guy what his rate is, he's gonna give you the highest fucking rate possible. There's always ways to negotiate that kind of stuff. It's like anything. It's like
wiggle room.
There's always wiggle room because everyone who's always going to start high and they're going to work their way down. And it's like, how about we split this? How about we split that? How about the flight? You pay this and that.
Yeah.
It's like there's always ways to work around that.
The wrestler wants to make the most money they possibly can.
Yeah.
The promoter wants to pay you as least amount as they can.
And some people look at that as scumbaggy, but that's any business.
It's any business.
Any business.
It's any business.
Like that doesn't mean like now if the point is like that's the lowest you're willing to pay and it's like super low. Like if like guy's asking for 100 and you're like I'll pay you 5.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's a scum. That's you're way off. That's just a scumbag promoter. But like if he's like, all right, I can pay you 40 and you want 100. It's like I'm sure there's a way to work that to where it then works for both people.
Yeah.
Usually that's the way it works.
Yeah, and if you can't come to an agreement. Or then
you just don't.
Yeah,
you just can't. That's
hey,
happened. Yeah.
You know what? It's not going to work out this time. And like I always try and be respectful. If a promoter asks what your rate is, and you give it to them, and they say that they can't pay that, say, hey, you know what? I understand.
Yeah.
It's cool. Don't worry about it. Maybe next time. Maybe down the road sometime. Always keep it professional. Don't when you go out and you start bashing people, promoters on the internet, don't think you're just bashing that promoter. Other promoters are going to see that and go, oh, that's who this wrestler is. So let's say I get on this wrestler. Let's say I try and book this wrestler and maybe I'm trying to accommodate him, but something goes wrong. Something maybe I can't do for him. Is he going to bash me like that?
Yeah, exactly.
On social media? So why would I even want to even attempt to get in bed with this person when they're already talking shit about the last person they were in bed with? Or, I don't know.
And that sucks because there are guys that get bad reps that shouldn't have bad reps, that aren't, shitty people.
Yeah.
But because they did that one thing, you're like, okay, I guess that's who they are as a person.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not going to book them then. But, it is unfortunate. It's very much a business, but there's a lot of people that kind of just get mad about stuff that they really shouldn't.
Oh yeah.
Like in terms of like they're like, if you're like self-evaluate yourself a little better for some people, like, is what you're asking for? Is that logical?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially like I know now is different because we're coming off the pandemic and whatnot, but
yeah.
I don't know. I see that pop up all the time too, and it's weird because I feel both ways. Like I'm like, yeah, I don't think that every guy should get paid $20-$30. I feel like that's a little shitty now, especially with the way, you see some of these shows, and you see where they're running, and you're like, okay, I know this guy's got some money. Like, why is he offering? But then I'm also like, but we don't know everything. So there might be a reason why he got this nice venue.
Yeah.
They might have gotten it for free.
Yeah.
The Legion Hall in Reseda, PWG never paid for that venue.
Yeah, it was the bar.
The bar.
Yep.
And you see how drunk people got at those shows. They made a lot of money off those PWG shows, the bar.
Yeah, man. I agree. Know your worth. Know your worth. But also, be real.
Yeah.
Don't somebody with 1 year experience, don't be out there being like, hey, I want 300. I want 500. You're probably not going to find, unless you're the second coming of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
In the wrestling business, I doubt you're going to get that.
And especially since there were WWE like guys who are the main event now who weren't asking for that when they were on the indies.
Yeah.
So you need to calm down with that kind of stuff.
Always, that's the thing, man. Always look at it as a business. Even employers, right? Normal day job, 9 to 5 job, or whatever kind of job there is, when they put a posting for a job opening, they put the least amount they want to pay.
Yep.
The least amount of what they want to pay. And when you apply for that job, you might want to ask for more.
Yep.
But understand that they're not going to come so far up.
Yeah.
That it's insanity. You got to meet somewhere around that, what they're asking for anyways.
It's like the people that like always complain, I've been in this job for so long, I've never gotten a raise. Have you asked for one? No.
Yeah.
Well, they're not just going to one day walk in and be like, here's a raise for you. No, you have to ask for it.
Yeah, they got other stuff they got to worry about.
Yeah, they're like, hey, can I get a raise? Okay, what do you think is fair? How about this? Well, I can do this. Okay. Now you got a raise.
Yeah.
But if you don't ask for
compromise.
If you just wait for it, if you wait for shit to come, like it's probably never going to come, especially if you work at a big corporation. Like they're not going to get a raise if you don't ask for it.
Yeah. Yep, man. Anyways, that was my seminar.
Good.
That was my seminar.
We can split the seminar. And
we split the seminar fees.
And then you can get paid this much, and then
guys, you can Venmo me. I'll take $3.
$3.
Venmo me $3. All right, what else, man?
We'll
what
start
else
a Patreon for the podcast. Where
I started an OnlyFans.
Oh no!
Hey, man, it ain't got to be nudity.
No, I know, but it's got that nostalgia.
I know, man.
The mystique to it now.
Isn't it weird that like nowadays you hear OnlyFans and you automatically think pornog?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're it's porn. What you're talking about?
Yeah, I think like Thea Trinidad started one. I think everyone freaked out, and I was like, no, I don't think that's porn.
Yeah,
she's
probably
just
like
posting herself,
her day-to-day stuff,
Yeah.
and probably like some good-looking pictures of her
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah. But anyways, what else is going on, man? What else do you want to talk
I
about?
think that's about it. Everything's kind of going back to normal with wrestling. Tickets are going on sale for shows.
Yeah.
Stuff to look forward to. AEW is running a show in like a tennis stadium in New York.
Really?
Yeah, in August, and I'm like, that's cool. It's different. Like that's the one thing I'd like to see. I'd like to see some new venues. Like there's only so many shows you can see from Madison Square Garden. I'm like, how about you run like a weird random baseball stadium? Like just see what that's like. Just see what it's like. If it sucks, you just don't do it again.
Why not?
Experiment with shit.
That was kind of cool. Like back in the day when like WCW would run like those spring break shows.
I love those shows. They're so awesome.
Obviously like you'd have like Kevin Nash jumping in the water and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, having fun. But like those were like cool looking, like, hey, this is different.
Yeah.
Do you remember their last WCW show? It was like one of those spring break
one of those shows. Yeah.
Flair and Sting wrestling with shirts on and shit. But like that, just it's cool, man. It changes up the look. It changes up the look.
Because every show kind of looks the same. It's in the same building. Like you're in a different arena with a different crowd, but do you really know? Like you really don't, because it all looks the same. So yeah, running stuff in like a tennis stadium that's like you can see that it's not a normal stadium. Like that might be cool to watch.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
We'll see.
I agree.
But yeah, nothing. I haven't really been watching wrestling, so I don't really know what's going on. So
neither have I.
There's some Mark Henry thing with Braun Strowman this week that everybody freaked out about.
He's like trying to get Braun Strowman booked on AEW or something like that.
Yeah, and then there was a lot of people that kind of like were saying that they shouldn't bring him in because, like, I think I brought this up to you a couple weeks ago. I said the reason people are going to say Braun Strowman shouldn't go to AEW is because of his beliefs and his like political leanings and whatnot. And sure as shit, everyone was like, or a couple people were like, you shouldn't bring him in because this and this. And then everyone was like, you're stupid if you think that he doesn't bring any value at all to them. He would absolutely bring a value to them.
What is Strowman? Is he just got like right-wing beliefs?
He's got right-wing beliefs. Like he's very like anti all of this stuff that's going on right now. He was going to like,
what do you mean anti the stuff that's going on right now?
Anti the mask, anti the COVID, all this other stuff. Like he's very much right-wing kind of guy. And he's very blunt about how he is. And, you know, for me, like I've said a million times, who cares? Like that 50 years ago, did you know that your neighbor was a Republican? No. Because it wasn't a conversation. Now whatever your political belief is become your personality. And I hate that. But no, so yeah. So everyone was kind of like, I was happy because there were a lot of people that were like, if you don't think that he has any value, you're an idiot. Because like people were saying he's not talented. And I'm like, a lot of you saying that is because of the way he believes in shit. Because if you watched him 3 years ago and you believe that he has no value at all, you just don't know what you're watching. Because he has plenty of value. Especially now he can come in and be the anti-indie guy and come in and just be the big monster that just shits all over like all the indie wrestling and whatnot. And he'd be a heel, which is what you want. You want a real heel.
Yeah. No, that's true. I don't know. You know, I don't know if like he would come in and ratings would really change that much with AEW, but
he's not a ratings mover, but like he's definitely a guy that could come in and you could tell a good story with him.
If you figure out the right plan for him, hey man, you might have something.
Yeah.
He's he's gonna dwarf like the whole fucking roster besides like a handful of people.
Yeah.
But
I'm also of the belief that they need to at some point soon go on like a hiring freeze for a little bit. Because at some point you're going to get to that point where WWE got to where they have way too many people and not enough spot. And Tony Khan even said this before he started. He's like, you can't push everybody.
Nope.
I don't want to bring in all these people because I don't want all these people to sit on the bench for so long. And they've kind of got to that point where they brought in Andrade a couple of weeks ago and it was just like, oh yeah, he's here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's just like an afterthought.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, just chill for a minute. Like, stop bringing in all the WWE guys, you know, the guys who aren't going to wrestle. Like, you don't need to pay Mark Henry. He's going to be a good backstage guy and a good backstage influence, but
I still think it's funny that two of the biggest guys on their payroll are doing commentary stuff.
Yeah. And it's like, that's one of those things where you're just like, man, it's so weird to like, they just came in. They must have been getting paid a lot of money to do that. Cause like, I don't know.
Well, I'm down with like, it's just funny because it's just very like, it's very wrestling nowadays.
Yeah.
Where the biggest guy is behind the counter or is behind the microphone commenting.
Yeah.
Doing like, play-by-play color. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. And it's good. It is good to have guys like Christian, Big Show, and Mark Henry in your company, but for the reasons of the backstage where they can give you like
advice
and feedback, but not be a dick about it. Where they can kind of just be like, look, this is how this should be done. This is how you're doing this wrong, yada, yada, but like do it in a non-shitty way.
Mm.
But, we'll see. We'll see when things go back to normal, because, WWE's going to have a lot of pressure on them now when things go back on the road.
Yep.
Because they've actually got real competition now.
Did I hear like WWE might not even be doing house shows anymore?
Well, I think initially when they come back,
while.
I think they're doing a house show SummerSlam weekend.
Oh, are they?
Like I think on that Sunday, I think they're doing some show on that Sunday, but I'm not 100% sure. But I mean, yeah, Eric Bischoff said over and over again, the house show actually lose you money.
Yeah.
So like maybe for a while they won't, but it also gives the guys reps.
Dude, back in the day, I feel like house shows had to make money though, man.
You
think the first house show I ever went to, my first wrestling show ever, that motherfucking place was packed, sold out. Of course, this was like 1999,
yeah.
But yeah, the past few house shows that I've gone to, you can definitely see that the attendance isn't what it should be,
and you just never know what like rents on the buildings are, and stuff. Like that's why they never run MSG anymore. Apparently, it's way too expensive. And like the Barclays Center is so much cheaper and so much more worth running. I'm like, Yeah, but the ambiance of the garden, I think, is more important to people than
it's the garden.
what it costs. Yeah, like
The garden.
you got paid $1 billion for the WWE Network. You can run a show in MSG once a year.
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay.
All right, man. What else do we have to talk about? Anything?
Nothing. Can't think of anything else. We didn't get any questions this week.
What the fuck?
You didn't react to my great thing I posted this weekend.
What's that?
I posted the picture of Roman throwing Dominic out of the ring, and I said, when anyone tells Mike Camden he does jujitsu.
By the way, I don't mind if people think I do jiu-jitsu, but I don't.
No, but it was a funny picture of Roman throwing Dominic out of the ring in
Chucking
Dominic's face, and I was like,
I do hate the fact that they like pulled the camera away so you don't see Dom land.
that's
like,
the shit I'll be so glad is over when they go back to live crowds. Like I am so tired of the, he threw him out of the ring. I'm like, no, he fucking didn't.
No.
Dominic would have fucking broken his back if he would have legit done that.
Spike Dudley did it.
And where's Spike Dudley today, Mike? Where's Spike Dudley today?
I don't know. I wonder what Spike Dudley's up to.
He seems like a guy that probably had like a great backup plan.
Wasn't he a teacher or something like that?
I bet, yeah. I bet he's like a financial advisor somewhere or like a teacher somewhere.
I hope so. All right, man. I think we're going to wrap it up
Sounds good.
because I don't know what else to talk about right now.
No, not much to talk about.
Yeah.
Next week I'll give you some feedback on going to the baseball game with Devin.
There you go.
Give you a breakdown of that.
And then this weekend, Saturday, Canna Pro 619, located at 8300 Center Way. I think I got that right.
I think there was a 5. Wasn't it 8305?
Hold on, I'm trying to find it real fast. 8300 Center Drive,
Okay.
La Mesa. That's in San Diego. Go check it out. If you guys want more information, go to Canna Pro Wrestling on Facebook. And, as usual, card subject to change. And Adam is going to be on Saturday at
The Wheelhouse in Hemet, California for the West Coast Wrestling Company. I think it's called Nobody Does It Better or something like that.
Nobody Does It Better.
My gimmick is supposed to be anti-company, so I'm
Anti-company.
so I'm not supposed to know.
All right. Oh, and then also I will be at Global Lucha Libre on June 27th this month.
Oh.
That's going to be up in Escondido. I guess that place is called Escondido Body Art. That's going to be 1891 East Village, or East, I'm sorry, not East Village, 1891 East Valley Parkway in Escondido. I will be taking on, I just asked him how to say this the other day too. I can't remember exactly how now.
Is that how you officially knew that indie wrestling in San Diego is back?
What?
When you start getting messages about doing random lucha shows?
No, not
Like
really.
indie wrestling's back, baby.
I will be taking on Primo Henyo Tribeca,
You did that pretty
also
well.
known as Hyde back in the day.
Okay.
But yeah, I was asking, I was like, how do you say that name? And he was Primo Henyo. I believe I'm saying that right. Anyways, he's formerly known as Hyde. He's a Santino guy. He's a great kid.
That name sounds so familiar, but I can't figure out why.
Looking forward to working with him. He's a good guy. I like him. And that's it, man. I think that's it. And do you have any closing words?
No. Just if you're near Hemet, go to that show. If you're near San Diego, go to Mike's show.
Yes. I'm sorry. I was going to ask you a question because you've kind of have more of a.
Is it sports related?
No, it's Southern California. Well, it's wrestling related, but I don't know. I'll ask you afterwards
Okay.
because I would have brought it up on air, but I'm not sure if you know this person. Anyways, if you want the tip, you gotta take the whole hog. Adios.
You're gonna die, you're gonna ragdoll. You're gonna die, you're gonna ragdoll. Ragdoll, ragdoll, ragdoll. With the evolution of small confusion, not all life is much losing. Blood flames, pain, wants to use spells the same, but it ain't no more. Keep on sweat, the time stands still, not dead yet. But the reason you will, another time, what you dream of you. Now you can't make a whole just pay a bill. Drugs trap, the sounds of most that. Images of your life, flashback, fly by, like all your years. With the end of the road, never see no tear. Ragdoll, you're gonna die, you're gonna ragdoll. You're gonna die. die, you're gonna ragdoll.